Hello, everybody. Kathy Buccio here with Talk Shop Live. And today I am joined by the world's best-selling author and the creator of the iconic Alex Cross series, Mr. James Patterson. And his latest book, Return of the Spider, brings readers back to one of the most unforgettable stories. James, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you. And you get your Christmas stuff in the background, so that's perfect.
I'm festive.
Perfect
I'm ready for this
because
conversation.
there's nothing better than a signed book for Christmas.
You know what?
People get all these
You're doing
things and
my
they
job
go
for
like,
me.
"Oh, I don't really want that. I don't really want that." Especially if they either like my books or Alex Cross or we've got the big series on Amazon. Season 2 is going to be coming in February. Alex Cross with Aldous Hodge. So yeah, so we're all ready to, but people do love it. It's one of those gifts where you go, "Oh yay, this is good." I
It
didn't
is
want the
good.
tie. I didn't want the socks. I didn't want the whatever.
You wanted the book, but I
I
want to
wanted
tell
the book.
everybody that that's absolutely right. It's the holidays, and what a perfect time. I want this under my tree. And it's a signed copy of James' new book, Return of the Spider, which is a prequel to Along Came a Spider. We're going to jump into that. And you
Yeah.
can get it if you comment the word shop on Facebook, you're going to get a DM to purchase. You can click here, click the shop button, signed copy. And if you are watching on YouTube, you can just click on the link in the description, which will also take you to shop the book. I love that you're back with us on Talk Shop Live, James. Third time's a charm. I like that.
I love being here. It's a good thing.
Okay, so let's jump into the book. First of all, congratulations. I mean, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of the Alex Cross series as well. Did you think when you first started shaping this character and bringing this character to life that it was going to become the phenomenon that it has become?
Yes, of course. No, look, I'm a baby in New York, and you feel lucky that you get a book published, and then with Alice Cross, it really took off for me. People got into it, and the first one was Along Came a Spider. So that was the first one with Gary Soneji, interesting when they did the movie Along
Mhm.
Came a Spider with Morgan Freeman. They asked me, they said, "Well, how do you pronounce uh, Gary Soneji?" I said, "Gary Soneji." So of course they pronounce it Soneji in the movie, but they do what they do what they want to do out there. But
Absolutely.
it's a delicious thing for me to go back and revisit a great villain like this. Every once in a while, when I do the outline for a book, I might have the villain sort of, dying in the last chapter. But I'm glad I kept Gary Soneji alive, and then the idea of writing about him again it was really exciting for me.
Absolutely. So, I mean, it's a whole new generation of readers who
Yeah.
are being introduced to Alex Cross, obviously.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
what is it? What should they be anticipating with a character like this and reintroducing them to a different generation?
First of all, it's really important to understand that when I do something, it doesn't matter whether you've ever read an Alice Cross book before. You can jump right in here and it won't matter. It's absolutely fine. And I always do it that way so that, whatever it is, it'll start out with a bang and just keep, rolling along. But I always, the thing, and what's nice about the Amazon series is when we did the Along Came a Spider and Kiss the Girls with Morgan Freeman,
Right.
he's older, so we didn't really bring in the family very much. But what Alice Cross is really about and why it's been so successful, it's this combination of this very intense homicide detective and then his family life. And that's why I think so many people can identify with it because we have our jobs and we have to somehow figure out a way to balance our jobs with our families for most of the
Absolutely.
time. Not everybody, but a lot of us. And that's what Alex does. And his job is really intense. and Gary Soneji is a very evil, horrifying human being who's kind of pretty believable because those characters do exist. And he has to balance that with his family. And he's got his children and his lovely wife and some, and that's what, but I think that's why the series has always been so successful. It is the biggest series in the last 25 years, detective series.
How do you manage to create? First of all, I have to tell you, I'm obsessed with the show. I love the show. I think we are counting down. And it's so interesting because obviously I grew up watching Along Came a Spider and Kiss the Girls, and Kiss the Girls is one of my favorites. And now my daughter, who's into it as well, she watched the show with me, and she's like, "When is season 2, Mom?" I'm like, "February."
Yeah, February. Yeah. Well,
And
Aldous Hodge in the show, once again, he's so perfect because
he's so perfect.
He's very intense, and he looks great with his shirt off. But he does. Let's just face it. But he's very intense as a detective, and then he's great with the kids. He has a new baby, in his real life,
Mhm.
and and that's unusual. And we couldn't do that with Morgan Freeman, or we could have, but it would have been a little bit of a stretch.
Stretch. But I do love that this character also, like the supporting characters that we see in the book and we see in the show. We obviously have
Yes.
Nana, who's like, I feel like Nana's the backbone. Nana's really the backbone.
Nana Mama is the backbone, and that she's, we don't know how old she's. She's very old.
We don't need to say how old she is, but she's a backbone.
We don't need to get into that. But Nana's great, and John Sampson, Alex's sidekick, and in the series, Sampson's great.
Fantastic.
He's a really good character. Yeah, and he's another big, very good looking. He takes his shirt off in the show too. But actually, in the second season, you'll get to see John Sampson run around naked, believe it or not, in the first episode. So,
oh my gosh! Well, obviously, you've gotten a sneak peek already.
Something to look forward to. Yeah. He's a great guy. He's a great guy.
So when you're writing a character like Alex Cross, and we're here, we are. He's a homicide detective. He's a father. He's a husband. He's a son. But yet, there's so many facets of him. How do you create that voice for the book or for the storyline that sort of melt all of these together?
Well, you mentioned that this is a prequel, so it starts out in real time in the present, and then what happens is they find something that Soneji left behind, and then we go into the past, and in that part of the book, Alex and Sampson are both young detectives, so they're they're younger, and they're just kind of starting out, and they fall onto this incredible story and this incredible murder that's happened, a couple of murders. And it's a little like when you had All the President's Men with Woodward and Bernstein, and they were these young 20-year-old, 25-year-old guys. But similarly, Sampson and Cross are really young when they first get involved with this spider character.
Right. Well, I do have some viewer questions, and I want to get to those, but I want to remind everyone, if you're watching and I see you're buying books, I love that. Remember, this makes a great holiday gift, especially a copy signed by James himself. This is the
and there aren't many of these. I mean, that's the other thing you can tell the people you give them to. I'm not signing these books all over the place.
He's not, and they're here, right here on TalkShop Live. Right. Exactly. So if you're on Facebook,
this is the only place they are, actually. I have one local bookstore. You don't even know where I live, though, so you won't be able to find those.
We won't even mention. Yes, we're not going to disclose where you live. We won't.
Well, if you live in my town, maybe, but other than that, here they are.
Here they are. And if you're watching on Facebook, comment the word shop. You're going to get a link to your DM to purchase. And if you're watching on YouTube, remember in the link in description, you can click on that to purchase the book. So I do want to get into some questions.
There's nothing against if you want to order 5 or 10, it's okay.
Listen, of course, give them to everyone in your family.
And don't feel bad because you're going to get them before anybody else gets a chance, because they have a chance right now. But if they don't take it, that's their problem, right?
Right. And we're gonna buy books. Okay, this is a great question, actually. Henry wants to know, if someone has only seen the Cross TV shows and is new to the books, is Return of the Spider a good entry point, or should they start with Along Came a Spider?
You can start anywhere. As I said earlier, Henry, I write these so that whenever you pick them up, it sustains itself. It's all scenes. It's like, you watch a movie and you go, that was a cool movie. Now, if you want to then go to Along Came a Spider, that's cool too afterward. But it'll work either way.
Okay, so Jasper wants to know, you've written legendary heroes over your career, but Alex Cross is the one that fans really come back to. Why do you think he resonates?
Well, I think part of it is what I was talking about before, the fact that we all can identify with this idea that he has his tough job and he has a family life. Michael Bennett is similar into another character that I created who also has, he's a detective and he has this huge family with 10 kids, which I don't wish on anybody, but I wish it on Michael Bennett. The other thing about, my books, when I write these books, I pretend there's one person sitting across from me, and I don't want them to get up until they finish the book. And I will say that, versus a lot of the stuff with the competition right now, the competition is losing it. I got to tell you, because I read this stuff, and there's there's 4 or 5 writers who I really like, and I don't know, man, they lost it in their old age. But what I'm doing, honestly, I think it's the best work I've ever done. And I think the reason was during COVID, I sat down and wrote my autobiography, and I really wanted it to be as good. And I really started paying attention to the sentences. I maybe had gotten a little sloppy. But I really think I'm writing the best books I've ever done now. I do some with Mike Lupica, which have turned out. I have one coming with Viola Davis in March. That's another one to look forward to. Maybe we can get together on that one too.
Yes, we will.
And that's it's a terrific book. It really turned out great. But so did this Return of the Spider. I'm really happy with it. And you want them all to turn out, but sometimes they don't. It's like movies. You're going to shoot, and you hope it's going to be great, and sometimes it is. But with this Return of the Spider, it's exciting from the beginning to the end. The characters are good, whether you've met them before or you haven't. I mean, the thing of it is, if you haven't met Alex Cross before, that this is a good way to be introduced to him, and then you'll want to read more Alex Cross. That's the way people are. I mean, once they get exposed to a character they like, they want to read all the women's murder clubs or Alex Crosses.
Absolutely. So you mentioned you're doing a book of Viola Davis. You also said before we got on that you're doing a book with Mr. Beast as well.
I am doing a book with a novel. I was just on it. It's been an interesting day today because at 2:30 I was talking to Viola for half an hour about our book. Then I interviewed Michael J. Fox. I do interviews on podcasts, and I do them because it's just such fun to talk to these people. So I talked to Michael for about 40 minutes, and then it was Mr. Beast at 5 o'clock. And I actually had to cut it off and say, I got to come here to talk about Return of the Spider. So here I am talking about Return of the Spider. Yay!
Yay! So then what's the process like, James, for you when you work and you're co-writing with, let's say, a Viola Davis or a Mr. Beast? How is the process different as when you're crafting by yourself?
Well, by myself, when I write Alex Cross, it's just lonely, but I put up with it. I talk to myself a lot. I'm schizophrenic, and in a good way. And it really depends with the co-writers. I wrote a novel with Dolly Parton, and that was his own. And Dolly and me are both sort of. My grandmother has a line, or she had a line, which was "Hungry dogs run faster," and that's the way. And Dolly and I are sort of that way. We're both hungry dogs, and we run fast. And when I got together with Dolly, we talked about the outline for that novel, Run, Rose, Run. And I got home, and 2 days later, she had written 7 songs
for
the book, the book is about a country singer. So that's different. The stuff I do with President Clinton is different. And authenticity is really key. And with Return of the Spider and the Cross books, I obviously know the characters very well, and it's always exciting for me to get back with them. And Alex keeps growing. And in this case, you're going to see Alex, present day, and then you're going to see him the way he was when he was a young detective. And that's, I think, fun for the readers. And it was fun for me as a writer.
I want to bring this up one more time because you said, James, only a few signed copies, right?
Yeah. Oh, no, there's this and my little store, which you don't know where it is and you'll never find it. I'm not trying to hide it, but it's in a small town.
So basically, you have to get it on TalkShopLive.
I'm pretty sure. I don't want to lie about it, but I think that's correct. Yeah.
Well, it is.
But you know what? Look, there's whatever. There's not that many copies. We should sell these out today. Boom.
We are going to sell these out today because right now you can get a signed copy of James' new book, Return of the Spider, just in time for the holidays. What a great gift. I'm going to jump into some of these questions.
But I guarantee you, it is, and I hear it over and over again. People will just say, I got your book for Christmas. Yay, I'm so happy. It's just a nice thing. Versus, from your own experience, you get so much stuff and you go like, oh, thank you. A new Hawaiian shirt. Wow.
But for me, I like a good book.
Well, this is a good book, and there are so many. Pretty much everybody who's out there will have at least somebody who's an Alex Cross fan in their Alex Cross fan and their family. And that universe has gotten bigger and bigger with the show on Amazon.
Absolutely. Okay, we have more questions here. Kayla says, as the world's most popular storyteller, how do you keep raising the bar? And I love that you actually just said that
Kayla,
you
let
feel
me
like
just
you're
say that one of
doing
the
best work.
characters on the on the TV show is a Kayla. So pay attention to her. She's a key character in the ongoing story on Amazon. But what was Kayla's question again?
She wants to know how you keep raising the bar to become one of the world's popular storyteller, because she feels like this book, you're likely going to outdo yourself.
I don't know if I've outdone myself, but I think it's a really good cross book. I mean, it's right up there with Along Came a Spider and Kiss a Girl. So I think it turned out well. This isn't my language, but it's been driving me for 2 or 3 years. I think it's more important for people in their 20s or even people in high school and college than it is for me. But the language here is my time here is short. What can I do most beautifully?
Right.
And for me, what I can do most beautifully is, one, taking care of my family. I'm very lucky with my wife. My line about Sue is, if Sue ever leaves me, I'm going with her. So that's my hugest priority. And then my second priority is writing books as well as I can, and once again, trying to do beautiful things. And that's what I try to do with Return of the Spider.
So let's talk about the villains in the book, because
Yeah.
obviously, like you said, Gary Soneji is a horrible, horrible hunting man.
Right.
So does he sort of like live up to like the worst villain you've created, and then you sort of model
No,
after?
no, Gary's right up there. Absolutely. If you've seen the movies, you know, I mean, if you've seen Along Came a Spider, you can see what a scummy little guy he is. No, he's great. I mean, once again, you want to have one of the tricks about villains is they need to be somewhat believable, and Gary is believable. You understand, kind of where he's coming from. He's
Right.
complicated. He's human, which is important for me. You don't want to create a villain where you just go like, there's nothing recognizably human. I think the scary villains are the ones where you recognize their humanity. Like Bundy was a great villain because you'd listen to him and watch, and you go like, what's he doesn't seem like he's a madman, but he is. That BTK killer,
Right.
he was another one. You'd listen to him and go like, oh boy, he's really scary because he's so real.
Right.
And that's one of the things with Soneji. He's real. He and he keeps surprising you with what he does and why.
Well, let me tell you, James, Ramsey in the show.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ramsey, another good, right, in the first season, the Amazon season. Yeah, Ramsey, really good and really good actor too, which helps.
Absolutely. Yeah, but I when I was thinking of this character, I was like, ooh, where can you going to take this villain to the next level? And Ramsey was pretty haunting there as well.
Yeah.
So many great comments of people who love your book. Just finished the NYPD series, love your books. Read all 3. This is the greatest books ever. This is fantastic. So great question here from Ren. Are any of your characters in the book based on real people?
Yeah, Gary Soneji's based on my brother-in-law. No. No. Samson, just a little bit. I had a friend in my 20s. He was just physically big man, big black man, good looking, interesting character. I'm not the character so much, but the physical type.
Okay.
The thing about the Cross family, you mentioned, and Nana Mama and the kids, and when I was growing up, my grandparents had a very small restaurant in Newburgh, New York, and they literally built it themselves. They didn't bring in a contractor; they literally built the lines themselves, and so it really was a family restaurant. And the cook was a black woman chef. And when I was 7 or 8 years old, she moved in with she was having problems with her husband. And I spent just an incredible amount of time with her and her family. And they were smart and they were funny, and the food was great there and the music was great. And it was a little bit of the stimulus for the Cross family. In those days, back when I started Cross, even in Hollywood, every black or every other black person other than Sidney Poitier would have a boombox on their shoulder. And I went, that's such BS, but that's not right. So the Cross family, and that's another thing that gets people addicted to the Cross books, which is the family.
Absolutely.
Don't
You
let
get so
anything happen
invested.
to Nana Mama.
There is in
Nana
the
Mama's
book
going to
though.
be in
You're
trouble in the next book. I got to tell you. Let me just warn you.
wait. What did you say about next book?
Next book, Nana Mama's going to be in some trouble. So stay tuned, folks.
So is that done? Are you working on that now, or is that coming out
That's
soon?
done. It'll be next year. Next year.
Gosh, I can't wait for all
But
these
right
Talk Shop
now,
Live
every year,
visits.
right around Christmas time. So get them in the habit of a nice Alex Cross for Christmas. That's
Well, James, I mean, you literally hold the title, the number for the most number one best-selling books in the world.
yeah.
At this point, what do you want your legacy to be? I mean, you've created these
I don't
characters.
care. I'll be dead. What do I care about my legacy? No, I care about my nowacy. And I love writing these things. I still think the books are working nicely, and I love doing them. I don't work for a living. I play for a living.
I love that.
Honestly, it's I'm very lucky, and I get to come on here and shoot the breeze for a little bit, which is nice. And then and today was a very special day with all the various people that I got to talk to. Why did I get to talk to Viola and Michael J. Fox and Mr. Beast? Because I created Alex Cross. That's where it all started. Yeah.
So how does that come about, James? When you work with, let's say, Bill Clinton, Viola, do they reach out to you, or you say, "Hey, I have an idea. I feel like
Well,
you could co-write with me"?
Clinton and I had the same lawyer, and he'd always try to get, and the lawyer also represented some writers. He always wanted President Clinton to write a mystery. Bill Clinton reads more than anybody I've ever known in my lifetime. He reads and reads and reads, and we become good friends. And Dolly and I are good friends too. That's one of the nice things about these relationships. That Dolly is when we were writing together. One of my birthdays came up, and she called up and she sang "Happy Birthday" over the phone. And I wanted to say, Dolly, I want you to hang up now, and I want you to call again. You're going to get voicemail, and I want you to sing "Happy Birthday" again. But I didn't have the nerve to do it. And then for my next birthday, she actually gave me a guitar, which she had designed, and she wrote on it the name of our book, Run Rose Run, and then "I Will Always Love You." She called me Jimmy James. That was her name, or that is her name for me.
Yeah.
So the great thing about is just the friendships that I've developed.
Yeah.
Mr. Beast, I don't know him that well yet, but when we first got together, I went down to his hometown in North Carolina, and we walked around for about 4 hours, and he's amazing. He's one of the most, he has the best instincts of anybody I've ever known. He's 27 years old. He is 5 times more He has 5 times more followers than Taylor Swift.
It's incredible what he does. It's incredible.
Anybody over under 36, he's the Beatles. If you're over 36, you may not have heard of him yet. But he's astonishing. Just his instincts are just unbelievable, so good, and he's good to work with. And he likes telling stories, and he likes giving away stuff. And I'm sort of the same way, so that's why we got together.
Yeah, he's big here in our house. Okay, we have a question from Mary. When are you going to do book signings, or do you still do those?
Occasionally, not doing them for Cross though. So as I said, this is kind of where you go. Might do some for Viola. I'm not sure yet.
Someone else, Jonna, wants to know: will there be more Holmes, Maple, and Poe books?
Yeah. There's another one coming out next year. I don't remember exactly when, but yes.
These are incredible. I mean, I'm just reading all these from fans everywhere, and you are so loved, James. Everyone's loving the Alex Cross. I have one question.
And if there's a hater on here, just don't read their thing.
I won't read them. No, we won't have those. Sabrina wants to know, she's waiting for the next Lindsay Boxer from Women's Murder Club.
Yeah, May.
Okay, there you go, Lindsay. You have an answer here. I love that Alex Cross character has really opened up this other world of work, but a lot of people don't also know that you do a lot of kids and YA books as well.
Yeah, not as much now, only because there's just so many stores that just won't carry kids books. It's kind of sad. The thing I do with kids that I think is the most valuable, the percentage of kids reading at grade level is like 45%, which is a national disgrace.
It is.
I work with the University of Florida. They have a program which can get that number up into the low 80s. We're actually doing it in Florida now. I think we're We were in 13 counties. I think we're going to be in 25 counties. And partly because of that program, Florida now is #1 in terms of Black kids reading at grade level. They're #1 in terms of Latino kids reading at grade level. I think by the end of this year, they'll be #1 in the country in terms of reading of the percentage of kids reading at grade level. So the thing of it is we have the vaccine. So that's a valuable thing that I do. I am still doing a little bit in the kid area. One of the things which people will find interesting, but it's a great challenge, and I'm loving doing it. I'm writing a romantasy now for next year.
Are you now? Are
yeah,
you
yeah,
competing with the Rebecca Yarros of the world?
There's certain kinds of books I couldn't write a regular romance novel, the old kind. I'm nothing against them. I just couldn't do it, and I couldn't write a book about generals. I don't get how they think or talk but this romantasy, this fantasy thing, it's right up my alley because I have so many goofy ideas. I'm loving doing it. We'll see how it turns out, but it's once again, it's a real interesting challenge, and I haven't had so much fun in a couple of years.
I know you mentioned earlier that you have a few writers that you really love, that you like their work. So what are you reading when you're not creating all these amazing books that come out every month? What are you reading?
One of the writers I think has held up the best is Michael Connelly. So I'm reading the latest Michael Connelly. It escapes me right now. The Reacher novels I like. I kind of liked it better before he started writing with his brother, but that's he's a great writer and a really nice human being too. So I like those. I'm blanking. I always do this when I'm actually gonna. I told you I do these podcasts. I'm gonna do one with Matthew McConaughey.
Oh, are you?
That would be cool. I love Green Lights. I thought that was really a really neat read. He's a very interesting guy. We're going to do it in December. So I'm looking forward to that. And I did like that book.
I know, James, we've had Matthew has been here on Talk Shop Live with Green Lights, and we've had Dolly and you were here for her book as well,
right.
Which fans really loved. So I'm excited to see what you do with Matthew.
Yeah. No. Well, it's just going to be a podcast. It's not going to be a book.
Okay, well that counts for something, right? Okay, so I have a question here from.
It's fun for me. Yeah,
it's good for you. I do want to remind our viewers though to shop. I see that you're buying books, and I love that. This is a signed copy of James' new book, Return of the Spider, which is a prequel to Along Came a Spider. So you're immersing yourself in the world of Alex Cross.
But once again, you don't have to have read Along Came a Spider. Trust me, I wouldn't mislead you on that. I'm sorry, you were going to tell them some more stuff that they got to do.
I was going to keep telling them to shop. We want them to buy more books, right? So we're going to go on Facebook and we're going to comment the word shop, and they're going to get a link to your DM. If you're on YouTube, remember the link is in the description. Click on that so you can buy the book. And I love that you said that, James, and that you can start anywhere in this Alex Cross universe because
and you really can. Yeah. Same with the Women's Murder Club. You can start and it doesn't really matter. Yeah.
So one of the interesting things about the Alex Cross series, or all your books really, when they deal with these psychological thrillers, is these are real fears, and these are real events that some happen, some can happen. So how do you bridge that? Because it can be a little terrifying to read and write.
Well, I mean, one of the things when I'm rewriting, I will frequently put at the top of the page, "Be there." And if I'm writing what's supposed to be a scary scene and I don't find it scary, then I haven't done it right. Or if it's supposed to be a funny scene for whatever reason, and I'm not smart, and that's part of the trick. But I do that. I will write that "be there," meaning be in the scene, because you need to, for me at least, I need to put the writer in the scene, the reader in the scene.
Right. Do you ever reread your novels, James? Did you reread Along Came a Spider?
Here's an interesting thing. They're doing an article for one of the magazines on me, and the woman who's writing it, very bright lady, I can't believe the research she's doing, but I went to graduate school at Vanderbilt, and she actually went there and I wrote fiction for my master's thesis. Mm-hmm. And she actually got that, which I knew I had done it, but I didn't remember it. So I'm rereading that now, which is interesting.
Wow.
One of the interesting things she says, you talk about not really, being style, not being your strong point. And she said, reading what you wrote when you were 21, style was your strong point, which is interesting.
So when you read it, let's say now that you're rereading it, when you were here, you are the James at 21. What are your thoughts rereading that compared to like everything that you've been able to do now?
No, the writing has a lot of style. It does. And the first book I wrote, the Thomas Behrman number, which won an Edgar, it's very well written. It's really, sentence by sentence by sentence by sentence. It's really, and as I said, that was one of the things in doing the autobiography. I started concentrating on the sentences more. And I've been doing that in all the books, the last year or two. The stuff I do with Lupica, the Jane Smith novels are, well, once again, people should read. If you like my stuff, they're really they're good. They're good.
Do you envision Alex Cross to be immortal in your worlds, James? Like, will you continue
Once
to?
Again, I don't know, man. I don't. I hope I'll be looking down from heaven and watching. Oh my God, they're still reading it 300 years later. Wow, so cool. I don't know.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Again, with so many comments coming in here, with so many people loving your books and on your series, someone says they've read over 200 of your novels. I mean,
that's more than I've written, for God's sakes.
That's what he says here. I mean, you must have other books you don't know about.
I believe them. I believe them, whatever they say.
So, how do you, when you're creating, let's say, the Return of the Spider, how do you lay out the structure of the book, James? Like, how do you?
I'm a big outliner, so I outline. What I will do now. When I first started, I had two big weaknesses. One is I didn't pay enough attention to characters, strong characters, and secondly, I didn't research enough. So now I do a research, B-Bite, I'll research it, and I will also write out, especially with new books, new characters, like I mentioned, Jane Smith, or the book with Viola. I'll just write 2 or 3 pages, just bullet after bullet after bullet about that character and what separates that character, why is that character interesting, and what's different about, so that's a big thing. In Hollywood now, well, what's interesting with Viola, he said, James, you would think that I get all these great parts. I don't. She said, I sit there, read these screenplays. She loves this character, Judge Mary Stone, and we're actually this week we're going to take it out to talk to studios about it. But once again, it's the characters. Jane Smith, who I'm so bad with names. A famous actress, won 2 Academy Awards, but she got in. She grabbed a hold of it because she loves the character. We just sold Michael Bennett. Michael Bennett's a really cool character, and people think, well, it's the short chapters. It's not the short chapters; it's the characters. Right. Alice Cross is a really interesting character, I think, but it's the characters more than anything else.
So how do you know what's next for? So we've done Return of the Spider. Now next, you're going to have another Alex Cross series. I think we've lost James. Oh, there he is.
No, I'm here.
Oh, here you are. Okay, great. So we have Return of the Spider. And then
some people think that's for Penn, but it's not. It's Patterson. So if people think it's Penn, no. Yes, no. It is. Okay.
So where are we seeing? Where do you see an end game for the Alex Cross character? I mean, what is?
Yeah, I see an end game. I die, and Alex dies with me. I'm sorry. That's the deal. We'll see. Look, I mean, you never know. Right now, I think, other than not remembering names, everything seems to be clicking along pretty well. And as long as that's, I'll keep writing them. I love doing it. I think I'm, so at a certain point, you say, you know what, can't do it anymore. And then you stop.
So then what do you want the young readers who are now diving into the Alex Cross series, who are watching the show, who are into it, what do you want them to sort of take away from this character and from I guess, from both perspectives, from the show and from the book itself? What do you want that Alex Cross?
I don't care how young or old or whatever. You want people to read them and say, give me another one.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the bottom line on it. You finish the book as opposed to, I was talking I mentioned a couple of writers who I've liked, and one of my friends will read a lot of the same things. and talking about reading 100 pages and throwing the book against the wall. That's what you don't want. But that's happening to me now with some of the competition. You're like, what? This is terrible. What? So you don't want that to happen. But in terms of young or old or whatever, one, I finished the book, and two, I want to read another Alex Cross book.
Absolutely. So is there anyone out there, when you're talking about co-writing books, is there anyone that is on your wish list per se, James? Is there anyone that you hope to?
Yeah, Pope Leo, man. I'm in.
Oh.
Yeah, no, I'm there because I want to tour with him. I want to tour in the Pope Mobile, and I want to get up in front of audiences, and he's got the thing and the whole. Yeah, and I mean that respectfully. I think we could turn out a great book, maybe about Chicago. Maybe we could write about his Cubs, or I think he rooted Cubs or the White Sox. I forget. I think the Cubs, hot dogs and all sorts of stuff, and being careful. But I think going on a tour in the Pope Mobile would be really, really cool. So I'm up for that.
That's amazing. James, as we wrap up, I want to remind everyone again that you can get a signed copy of James' new book, Return of the Spider, here on Talk Shop Live. Click the shop button. If you're watching on Facebook, comment the word shop. You're going to get a link directly into your DMs. And if you're on YouTube, the link is in the description. Click that. And you can buy all the books because these make great holiday gifts, signed copies. There won't be many left. So make sure you get your book. And as James said,
after this session, they're going to go like whatever. Okay, so this is good. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, James. It was great having you.
It was great being had.
Don't die. We need more Alex Cross books, James.